Our tech hack today is going to be a two-part episode because we got a lot of stuff to cover. What we're discussing today is how valves work, how the compression, power, exhaust, intake strokes on your engine, and we're going to discuss how your exhaust works and how all of this comes together and what exhaust you need to run on your motorcycle to decide what you want to do. So first off, we're going to get into this. An engine is just a big air pump, pretty much. That's all it is. So you've got 4 strokes, and that's why they call them 4 strokes. On your intake stroke, you are going down, your piston's going down. Your intake valve is open. The exhaust valve is closed. That's your intake stroke. This is air and atomized fuel coming into your combustion chamber. All right. Next, we have what we call a compression stroke. Both valves are closed. Your piston is coming up. When it comes up, squeeze. You have your fuel and your oxygen inside. Your spark plug ignites. It does not blow up. It burns. There's a burning front coming across one side to the other. This is why M8 have 2 spark plugs in each cylinder instead of 1. So you have 2 fire fronts, one on either side, and they come together as more efficient burning. All right. After that burn is your power stroke. When that happens, it forces the piston down. And that is what creates the power in the body. Both valves are still closed. Your piston starts coming up, pushing the hot exhaust fumes out of the combustion chamber. All right, and then we start all over, back to intake. This is going on ever how many times per minute you're running. RPMs is how many times the crank turns over. Divide that by 2, that's how many times this is happening in the piston every minute in the cylinder. Now, to explain all that, to get to this. You have a point in this when your piston is coming down. It's called overlap. Both your intake and exhaust valves are open slightly at the same time. Now this is allowing to pull fresh air in, but it's also exhaust going out. Now this ties into your exhaust because some exhausts will allow exhaust fumes to come back in and pollute, or it will allow fresh air and fuel to bypass and go out of the exhaust port. This is also important with your camshafts. If you have a camshaft with a higher lift, your valves are going to stay open longer. Your overlap time is going to be more. So in order to offset a bigger cam, you need to have a piston with more compression, and that makes up for the compression you lose during overlap. And so now that you have the basics on how an engine works, we'll go into how exhaust affects this and how everything comes together to give you what you want. So if you'll stay tuned until next week, we'll follow up with part 2 and we'll explain the exhaust and how all of that works.